The chief shaman storyteller of the tribe of Shabazz presents, The Narrow Path. It is a crisp autumn morning outside of Grandin, Missouri. The massive doors of the castle plantation open to let the workers out to attend to their duties. It is strawberry harvest time. The workers must pick the strawberries by hand and then load them into the harvester. Then some of the strawberries are carried off by anti-gravity shuttles to be distributed to markets and food distribution sites around the world. While some of the strawberries are taken inside of the Castle Plantation Dawn Star. David Jones and Michael Simmons are traveling within one of the many large electrically powered personnel carriers that moves in a convoy along the two-lane road that exits the Castle Plantation. They pass DNA and ectoplasmic scanners that read the biosignatures of everyone in this convoy, and displays the readout to the guards and the technicians within the Castle Plantation fortress. The scans have come up, all human. They drive along the road to the site of today's harvest. Along the smooth road the occupants are silent and groggy. Michael turns to David after he has noticed someone missing from their group. "David, where is William?" David, awakened from his slight doze, turned to Michael and said, "He decided to take the test. He must have scored pretty high, 'cause I saw him lining up with the cadets this morning." "What that nigga think he doin', joining the side of the Shabazz Zunni people? He's white." "He's not one of them," Michael responded. "They don't care what color you are just as long as you know what you can know, and if you can do what you supposed to be able to do when your training is done." "I'm thinking about taking the test too. Besides, I'm tired of coming out here early in the morning working in these fields like this," David explained. "That's about the 20th white boy to join with them Shabazz Zunni people from my dorm," Michael continued. "Yeah, and did you hear about that white boy named Paul Delvecchi, after he took his test and he told them his new native land, and native son name? He was given a wife and they were married and they moved up to the family suites. He was soon promoted for some programming work that he did for Master Dawn Star," David reported. "How did his wife look?" "Fat and ugly, I bet," Michael said. "Nah, she was cute. Looked like they hit it off. She looked kind of Hispanic or Middle Eastern. Supposed to be his perfect match," David said. "What was his new native son name?" Michael asked. "He told me it was Strong Branch," David said. "Man, I ain't giving in and joining them. I am a proud African American," Michael said. "What, you don't think that it is better now that pro-humanity has taken over from the alien invaders?" David asked. "I don't know. I mean, they were evil, they shot and killed us all the time. I felt bad all the time, and that made them feel good. They even ate a lot of people, I hear. I guess if I saw them eat somebody they would then try to eat me next. But Master Dawn Star don't even need these damn strawberries, our food comes from a replicator. This food is just shared for sake of sharing. I don't know how I feel about that since I'm the one doing the picking," Michael stated. "Well, all you have to do is to get your psychological evaluation and counseling to become clear of all defective mental energy clusters as they call it, and then take their test to determine your aptitude and the best discipline or trade that fits you, and then off you go. To where, who knows," David said. "And that's it, where do they be going? Nobody really believes that they get into a starship that takes off from right there inside that castle and flies off to other planets like they say," Michael queried. "You see them take off every day, don't you?" "Well, they go somewhere," David rebutted. After the convoy arrived at their harvesting location, the two men disembarked with hundreds of others from the convoy of personnel carriers and began their day's work. They filed out into the fields with their gathering bags and began their work of harvesting strawberries. The year is 2045, the agricultural lands of the Kingdom of Al-Shabazz Zunni has been divided into Castle Plantation territories, governed by chosen and accepted nobles of the Shabazz Zunni people led by Emperor King Shaziz, who is Most High Chief of the Shabazz Zunni people. The beautiful architecturally designed castle plantations are as huge as a small city that also extends several shielded levels into the earth, are used as homes for the crew, officers, and their families, an academy for cadets, and as places of safety for humans in this land, as well as bases for the Falak barrage fleet that join other corvette warships from around the land of the Kingdom of Al-Shabaz Zunni, and from grand castle constructions all around the planet, built on specific line and energy vortexes, used to establish the matrix of pro-human consciousness in the world by changing the energies of this Earth, planet Asia, to peaceful intelligent human energy. This was an interplanetary instrument used to foster empathy, cooperation, and healthy trade with the other human civilizations in the Solaris solar system and beyond, as well as with benevolent alien species in the universe, since this Earth, planet Asia, is the center of our vast universal civilization. From those beautiful architecturally designed grand and noble castle plantations, squadrons of Falak barrage corvettes lift off from the many spaceports within them, and head off into space to fulfill their roles as the universal service and security starship armada for the empire of our vast universal civilization. By this time there are thousands of castle plantations, while many more are still under construction. This is a healthy practice for workers, to become masters in this discipline of the construction of megalithic monuments before we travel to the stars and then show off what we know, and also learn even more as we go. At this time, giant levitating cities can be seen in the skies all around the Earth. And although the old large former American cities which are patrolled by mechanical attack drones, and roaming sentries in levitating vehicles, led by flying armored supermen who are members of Emperor King Shazi's Superman Corps, but which are still less secure than castle plantations, because of so many points of access to the people by the human-eating shape-shifting monsters. Places like from the sewers where the human-eating monsters were driven by psionic weapons and sonic disruptor stun cannons, which were not designed to be fatal, but it disrupted their holographic technology and caused the alien invaders to lose their ability to hold their disguised human form. That is when mechanical flying attack drones, along with kill teams, and death squads swooped in disembarking from levitating vehicles, and then swept through the area led by psychic super soldiers with the psionically enhanced armor of Emperor King Shazi's Superman Corps carrying lethal psionic weapons, and using psionic paralysis techniques on the monsters, to let the swordsmen collect their souvenirs, reptilian, and monsters' heads. Yet these old former American cities are still used as factory sites for the recycling of materials used for building starships and levitating sites. And there are still some people who live there within the high-rise buildings, and leave their buildings in flying cars, while never touching the ground anymore. People commute from vast distances from among the many grand and noble castle plantations around the world, and from distant southern Shabaz Zunni provinces like Colombia, and from other countries like Haiti, Jamaica, Canada, Venezuela, Brazil, and further, to work in the old former American cities by driving their flying cars. A simple anti-gravity propulsion system has opened up the entire world to each of humanity who have been deemed responsible enough to manage this changing world. The paradigm of the thinking that are the parameters for what is deemed responsible people are based on the same maritime legal system that exists on the oceans of this earth, as well as levels of consciousness. Consciousness has become a tangible commodity in this world. Those with a full human consciousness are those deemed responsible and are those who can protect themselves and stand up to the wills of other alien species. Otherwise people like the Americans and the Europeans would just keep being carried off by alien visitors to be experimented on, but ultimately, to be eaten. These people are a universal food commodity, genetically the same as those sold and traded throughout the universe, and are sought after because they can be controlled to jump right into the mouths and sharp teeth of any level 1 psychic entity. So, efforts were put into place to protect these people within the bowels of castle plantations, keeping them out of sight from passing alien species who have for many thousands of years just dropped in for a snack, and ate one of these gullible humans who can be easily manipulated. Those of the gullible 85% of the human population had made it very difficult for those with full human consciousnesses to survive. With the manipulation of the weak-willed by the alien invaders over several millennia, to attack sentient aboriginal and angelic humans with advanced alien technology on behalf of the alien invaders, thus reducing the survivability of all of humanity on this earth. But with the advent of the psychic super soldiers, which turned out to be the most advanced weapons technology in all universes, all of that changed. Human beings now with the capabilities of defending humanity, reorganized the caste system of this planet to no longer favor the alien invaders, their weak-willed human slaves, and their children, but to favor those who could destroy the alien invaders. The old racist caste system of divided and conquered of the human species was replaced, when human beings began to see the true worth of those that the alien monsters had taught them that they were inferior black people, but were actually the salvation of the human species. These people actually did not have any fear of alien monsters, who would resist them and fight them to their dying breath, and could actually control the aliens with their wills. The aliens actually feared them and taught their human animal slaves that this was hatred and that they should hate them too. But these people who are the salvation of the human species were taught to fear other humans, which was a natural genetic response within humans to fear parents, kings, and human authority, but not to ever fear alien monsters. So, the weak-willed white race on this planet of this modern age was actually invented just for this particular purpose. They are a weapon against aboriginal and angelic humans to rule them and control those who could not be controlled by alien monsters. Conflicts between aboriginal humans and alien invaders many times came to illegal compromises or a treaty, that were obeyed by both sides. And aboriginal and angelic humans came to call alien visitors snake brothers, or star visitors. There was no fear of them because they knew how and had a full human consciousness will to protect themselves from them. But with the invention of this new white race, unlike white races among the stars, they were taught hatred of the aboriginal and angelic humans. These new white races at the urging of the alien invaders thought of and planned mischief all the time, and would break the treaties with aboriginal and angelic peoples. The same treaties that alien monsters who were obedient to universal laws would not do, not until the white humans did. Then the reptilian alien invaders would merely cite their legal right to protect their own white people of the reptilian/white society as the reason for their aggressive and invasive actions under universal law. So, they would blame their taking of territory that belonged to human beings on the white race, other humans, not aliens. Ironically, the white race were created to be sadistically murderous to aboriginal and angelic humans of darker complexions, but they did not have the psychic capacity to resist the alien monsters to save their own lives, not one bit. Now these same formerly murderous white humans, but only against other humans, have fought Emperor King Shazis, and their numbers have been reduced severely by the year 2017. That then left the more pro-human supporters of the prosperous of white humanity on this earth remaining of their white race. Although they deeply feared and would not stand up to the alien monsters themselves, through their financial organizing, and industrious nature, they had the wherewithal, to invest in the pro-human future, the narrow path, the awakening eternal hope. An awakening to the tactics of the alien invaders perpetrating as the elite of humanity as though they are really part of us or one of us, they only look like us, and they want to kill us off, plain and simple, as the foolish learned the hard way. The world of humans who wanted to live and not feed themselves to monsters as food had begun to see the wisdom in supporting the psychic alien hunters. And the strongest of the psychic alien hunters are those darker complexioned people that the former white racists of the world hated, which are aboriginal and angelic humans. And they have begun to take shelter in the civilization envisioned by Emperor King Shazis and began to support the pro-human world order of levitating cities and castle plantations in preparation to leave this earth in favor of the stars. This decision appears to be for many reasons, but this decision now shows the wisdom of taking the weak-willed human animal into the bowels of castle plantations first, and then into the bowels of human starships out of compassion for their protection. The end of Part 1 of The Narrow Path.